I've realized that I'm addicted to my anxiety. Like I don't know how to be even keel. I'm like I love the highs and lows.
Yeah.
I love the attention. I love the drama of being in a fucking rut.
Oh, it's a warm blanket sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I know this. It's so familiar.
It's comfort. It's like a comfort zone for me.
Put some Morrissey on. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Go be melancholy and like take a drive through Las Virginias and shout at the mountains, man. I started doing that shit when I was like 20.
We're so emo.
I mean, I'm emo before emo was even a thing.
Welcome to I Love You So Much. My name is Reed Fish. I'm here with my good friend, Tyler Labine.
Hey. Always wanted to do
Fonz,
that. I'm just trying new things.
Hey. That's great. Well, that's part of our journey. You know, we're two divorced dads trying to get better.
Figuring out new things.
Figuring out new things. And we're very happy today. We have Mel Rodriguez with us. Mel, what a cool
guy.
Well, that's my thing. You can't do that.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Well, we start every episode with confessions. So Tyler and I are going to go first. In fact, Tyler, I want to go first today.
Please do.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
This is something I really debated if I want to talk about on the show.
Well, this is juicy.
And I don't want to talk about it, but I am going to talk about it.
Talk about it.
There has been, behind the scenes at this show, some turmoil, I will say. It's not with you and I. We're all cool.
No, we're good.
Everything's good.
It's about you, Mel.
Yeah. And it's been difficult these last few weeks. And we have ultimately, you and I got in a position that was not good in terms of like how we want to move forward with this show. And I do want to address it because it's been a big thing in my mind and in my heart.
Yeah, me too.
And I think we've had, as we've talked about on so many times, we've had a wonderful, supportive production team behind us.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's been a true joy. And I think that really unbeknownst to us, there's actually some turmoil on the production team that we really weren't aware of. And it got to a point where we had to make a decision about how to proceed. And it was a really hard decision. And it kind of boiled down to like, mommy and daddy are fighting. We don't want to be together anymore. And we have to make a reverse Sophie's choice on who do we want to go with.
Yeah.
You and I talked about it and we decided on the path that we decided on. And I'm very convinced it was the right path.
Yeah.
But it still felt incredibly shitty to make that decision because it felt like we've had a team here that from the very first meeting has supported us.
Yeah.
And has given us, the space to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And supported our vision, supported us from everything from behind the scenes to creative to the tech to just like general, like even just like emotional support.
Advice too.
And advice. Yep. And I'm not blaming anybody that we were put in this position because I think there was a lot of work done behind the scenes to have it not affect you and I. We had to make a decision on the direction to go, and no matter what we chose, we were going to turn our back on somebody or multiple people who really supported us for these last few months.
Yeah.
In this splintering, there's been people who are left with like at a low moment, and it feels like we turned our back on people at a low moment, and it doesn't feel good. It's the right decision. And I'm actually super excited about the current team we have. I'm super excited about the direction of the show. I'm really hopeful of the future. I'm really happy. But it's really also been weighing on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the confession. Because I feel like to not talk about it on here, and I cannot get into the details, it's not appropriate, but to not at least acknowledge.
It feels like
it felt wrong.
Omission. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And and for speaking on our behalf. I mean, like I feel the same way, and it's been like, whoa, my heart has been hanging pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But you know what? We did make the right choice, and we will have, like I've learned through sobriety, we'll have opportunities in the future to make any kind of personal amends that we need to. You know?
Yeah.
I believe that. Okay. Well, thanks, Reed. My confession is the second in my series of confessions. So this is I've been saying on the show for a while. I have a tendency to exaggerate parts about my life, or like,
Sure.
Especially when I was an alcoholic. There's this like tendency to feel like I have to be more than I am.
Yes.
I have come to the conclusion that there are a few base almost lifelong sort of misrepresentations that I've been putting out there, and I want to finally let them go, because it just feels shitty to have this lie that I've kind of perpetuated, and you get to a point in your life where you're like,
Why?
who am I doing that
Yeah,
for? People
I
love
know.
me or don't love me, and that's
Yeah.
and I'm enough as I am. So I have been for years telling people that at one point in my life I had a sponsorship from a skateboarding company.
Yeah.
When I was like 16. And
Yeah.
I wanted one when I was 16
Wow.
more than anything in the world. And a couple of my friends did, Trev and Sharp, a couple of them went pro. So there was this pressure, and as I got away from high school, I realized I could just tell people that at one point in my life I had I got free decks and shoes from this company called Grandma Skates, which was a place in Maple Ridge where I grew up, and nobody ever checked me on it, and I just kept it. And then I told it so long that I actually at one point was like, is that true? I think I did have a sponsor, and it's just one of those things where I finally was just like, fuck off, man. Like, why did I hang my hat on that? And why would I perpetuate that still? And I haven't said that to anybody in a long time, but like, I probably could have still, and I'm just saying, I'm sorry if I ever lied to anybody about that. It was just born out of this feeling of not being enough. And that's my second confession in that. There's more to come.
Wow.
Of fun little lies I've been telling my whole life.
Wow.
And I don't want to make light of it. It's not cool to just like openly sort of lie to people about things, but it's this this feeling of like, I just wanted to be cooler.
Not good enough. Yeah. Absolutely, man. First of all, I just want to say how beautiful that is. And I think what's really cool about men being vulnerable is that it gives other men permission to be vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a really great thing.
Consider the permission granted.
Yes, permission granted. That's amazing.
So that inspired me. I was going to say, honestly, I was going to come in here and I had a little planned thing. You know what I mean? Like, our daughter sleeps in bed with us and she's 6.
Right.
But I
That's
have a thing.
something.
I have a big confession, actually.
Go for it.
That inspired me just now. And I've told people all my life that I boxed Golden Gloves.
Oh.
It's not true.
Whoa.
Never did. I boxed some amateur stuff.
Yeah.
I was never part of Golden Gloves. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Buddy.
And it was this
Thank
thing
you.
growing up with, it was this kind of facade that I had to put on. Part of my armor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this need to be accepted, you know what I mean? Or even be considered kind of tough, which I am not.
Yeah. Same.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, man.
But all that masculine stuff, that crap that we carry on for so many years, God, that felt good.
Good for you, man. And
it's on my Wikipedia page.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Well, then that makes it true.
contested
That
it.
makes it true.
Right.
yeah, it used to
know?
be on my resume for like special skills. It was sponsored skateboarder. So yeah, like that's how far I took
Why do we
it.
do that? I know. I kind
I
of
do
know now.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
But it always felt like a little off. I
The
was like,
tall
what?
tails.
Yeah. But
you
it was
know?
like acceptable. I was like, whatever. I'm doing it because I was close enough to the truth, and no one knows any different. And like,
Right.
but like those add up.
They do add
little
up.
things, and I've gotten honest about huge things in my life, things I never thought I was
Same
telling
here.
anybody.
Same
So
here.
now to have these little splintery fucking lies that just don't make any, they
No.
don't do anything for
Well,
me. I'm like, get rid of
I
them.
wonder, because you guys being, in the public eye, right, as actors, you're having to talk about that kind of stuff more, right? You guys get interviewed. You have to, you're always trying to get jobs. You're always trying to see, and you're you in a mode where you have to kind of pump yourself
We're
up
the
all the
product.
time.
We are selling
where
ourselves.
like I can really see how that can take on in that space.
Yeah.
Because like for people who aren't in the public eye, why would they talk about Golden Gloves? It's
Right.
right.
There's no need for it.
Yeah. And so you're just trying to any hook I can get to
Yes. to present this kind of picture that's special.
Yeah.
Super special.
But mine was in
and
my
unique.
personal life
Right,
too.
'cause you have-
I just
yeah.
told people, like it wasn't even just for like, you know what I mean? I would just tell people
Well,
that I
you
meet
also
like,
have a lying problem too.
Yeah,
so-
but I do want to say, this is all a lie. No, the being tough, presenting tough thing was huge for me.
Yeah.
I love my dad. We've cleared the air about this podcast, but he
Sure.
was definitely, and this is trauma that he inherited.
Yeah,
was taught
of
to
course.
be tough.
Yeah.
And he was like categorically a tough guy, weightlifter, collegiate football star, but very soft inside.
Of course.
But all I ever saw was the real tough guy, and if the soft guy ever came out, it was very quickly like scooped back up and put back into a shell, you know. But the idea of presenting tough, man, and like especially as a guy who was bigger, anything to do with athleticism,
Yeah.
that it's like if you had made up some preconceived notion of me being like fat or whatever, yeah, well, I was almost a professional skateboarder.
Yeah, and I was a boxer.
Yeah, and people kind of go, oh shit, you know, like
Yes,
it's an
and
attribute.
it ties into that for sure. You know, and the thing is, I think I found throughout my life, I've never met a tough guy.
Right.
What I've met is a really scared, kind of hidden little boy that masks with toughness, insecurity, and unpredictability because of, you know, fear coupled with unpredictability. Is what the combination that's tough.
It creates a bully or a tough guy or whatever. Yeah, or like
and
the
all
crazy
the
guy in
really
the
tough
group.
guys I've ever known have been scared little boys inside.
Well, yeah, and then the real tough people, if you want to get into actual toughness,
sociopaths.
are quiet, are like dudes that are just they're like, I'm a ninja, but I don't tell anybody.
No one knows. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being. I'm glad that I can inspire you because I've been thinking about these confessions. I even told Reed at his birthday that I was like I'm putting myself on blast for real. Like,
Great.
But I also was like, I might not do it.
I know.
I might not.
Well,
you know,
I
like,
had that whole thing where I was going to talk about my daughter. You know what I mean?
I still want to hear about that too. Though.
Yeah.
Well, we co-sleep, and that is intense. You know?
The
Yeah,
6-year-old.
6 years old. We've had kids in the bed for 10 years now. So
How many kids do you have?
Two girls.
I can relate.
Stella and
I can
Pearl.
relate.
I told them I mentioned them on the podcast.
You would mention them?
Yeah.
Hi, Stella and Pearl.
Hello.
But it's hard, man. The co-sleeping thing. We did that with our firstborn as well, our daughter, until she was like maybe 3.
Yeah.
And even at that point, we were like, "This is crazy." But then all of our kids, my ex was always like, "Oh, what? You only get a baby to sleep in your bed for so many years. Like they're going to be gone."
And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, but it can go longer.
Yeah. And then it can be
She's hangs in my neck and stuff.
There just gets
She's
to be
strong, and she like pushes me towards the end.
and I mean, and now as like a single dad, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it does, like, and it's that whole thing of like, well, I can really try to work on this, but I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You know,
It'll
am I
work
going to
itself out.
regret?
I know
like,
not
you know,
doing it.
Yeah.
Do you have a daughter as well?
Yeah. And you know, you reach a certain age. Well, but the thing is, I don't think it's ever not appropriate because it's like you make it not appropriate.
Yeah.
So
No, but it does reach an age with you. Like I'm actually hitting that crux with my daughter right now, where it's like, I don't know, because she's 14. And it's like she still wants to be very physical with me, but then other times she doesn't. And it's like walking this line of like, she's still my baby. Like she's my little baby. She's my firstborn. But there are things as a dad that you have to be cognizant of. Like, you can't be physical with your daughter.
That's nice that she's still a cuddler, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, and someone mentioned this the other day. They're like, you know, as a man going out for dinner with my teenage daughter, like, why does everyone make the worst assumption?
I know.
Why does everyone assume that I'm on a date with a 15-year-old or that this is weird that I'm out just for dinner with my daughter at a movie? And I was like, God, I haven't really gotten into that yet because
Their problem.
Yeah, their problem.
Yeah.
It's a good point, but fuck, man, it's gross. It gets
I try not to treat it differently than I guess I would a boy, but you know, you just naturally do, and I'm just a little more like, okay, I gotta, you know, I just want to be extra careful about things. Yeah. And then too, it's like if she has her friends over, and she has, you know, it's very just like, okay, you girls have your privacy.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Like, you know, I don't want to
check in, check out quick.
Yeah.
I had an interesting thing. My 12-year-old had their birthday party weekend before. And it's always this big sleepover blowout with video games, and like we go to like a laser tag extreme out in the valley, and and then we bring everyone home, and it's a sleepover and movies. And this year, my 12-year-old is non-binary, and this year they invited a girl for the sleepover with all the boys. Yeah, and I had that very like trad dad sort of like whoa, wait a minute. A girl at the sleepover, and then I was like, "Well, wait a second! Like, it's one of their best friends. Yeah, all the other dudes love her. Like, they're like a gang. It's like they're like an episode of Stranger Things. Yeah, like the Goonies or something. They all go on these adventures, and I was like, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But then the dad of the girl, we had to have like a big sort of discussion about it. Like, what are the parameters and it was just one of those moments of like, there are necessary guidelines and parameters. Sure. But there are also these things that we can kind of
we bring our story to it. We bring our story to it. We bring our perception to it. And kids are just different now and more open and really awesome.
That's the thing. Like, they're so different. Yeah. Like, that would not have happened.
No, God,
no way. But
no way.
But they're still 12. And so you still know that it's like, they're all this gang, except could be two of them that kind of are more special in the game.
But I do have to think about that with Gabe being non-binary. As they get older, they may have relationships with male or female friends that I don't totally understand because they're not going to
Right.
bloom
So now-
into anything. They're like,
well, no,
you know.
and these days, in a way, you're like, oh, well, it's just a girl's sleepover. What possibly could happen?
Right. Yeah, right.
Oh,
or just boys. Like, come on, man.
So I think.
Well, we have that rigidity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they don't have, and it's
Yeah.
cool. And there is a place to be kind of like mature about things and know, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like you said, like they're going to be sleeping together. What's this going to look
Yeah,
like?
I had
that
a
sort of
backup
thing.
plan if she got uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, there's the spare bedroom.
And I think that's
You come to
conscious
me.
parenting. you
Well,
know?
and
for sure.
and Martha was there, presumably.
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
of course.
So,
And that was kind of one of the
that your
stipulations.
girlfriend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of the stipulations. Was that if my partner was there, if my
Yeah.
girlfriend was there. Also, I do want to dork out about you for a minute as an actor.
Oh,
Can I?
Sure.
Okay, I've been a huge fan of yours for a long time, from
Back
getting
at
on
you,
and before.
Tyler, yeah.
One of the greatest things you bring as an actor is unpredictability. Like a total your choices come out of nowhere. Like and they're so real and they're so genuine and grounded. And like I've seen you play so many like challenging roles. Like your role on getting on
Yeah.
was so complicated.
Yeah.
So complicated.
Yeah.
You know, and the journey and the arc for that character, and like I just think you're so fucking good, man.
Thank you, Tyler,
You're like
man.
a talented.
That means a
talented
lot
actor.
coming from you.
Oh,
It really
thanks,
does.
man. But like
I want to chime in and just say that I'm not familiar with a lot of this stuff, but Tyler has been talking behind the scenes about like he's been more stoked about you coming on.
Oh,
than
man,
almost
that's so
anybody.
cool, dude.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you guys know, but like
Yeah.
Mel is like
no,
one
I
of
think
my
he's
acting
more
heroes.
stoked about you being here than he was Will Forte. So
Probably.
No
But
offense,
Will's
Will.
like, he's like my buddy too, right?
I
So it's
love
like
Will,
I'm
man.
just meeting you. I've worked with Will and like
Yeah, we've never met, man.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
met that one time during the audition for a
Yeah.
split second, but other than that, no.
yeah. And I remember
You
I was
know?
sitting there. We were like, it was like some place in the. I think it was like what's that place? It doesn't matter. Oh, in the valley. And I was like sitting there, and we were just the two of us. I think there were
Yeah.
so many people there, and I was like, holy shit, that's Mel Rodriguez. And like I went in for my read, and I came out, and I was leaving, and I was like, I just have to say it. And I leaned over, I was like,
I'm so
a
glad
big
you did,
fan,
man.
and you were just like, oh, dude, thank you so much. And
It's so funny because I'm sure when we were heavier, we'd both go out for very
a
similar
lot of the same
things.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember people saying, Tyler got it.
Oh, yeah.
And there was something. and listen, and
Yeah.
there was part of me that was like, he got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I really loved your work, and I always thought,
man.
well, at least somebody,
Yeah, I
a
have
good
that.
dude got it.
There are other people that I don't feel that way about.
Yeah, no, I know. They're
Yeah.
the same here.
No, and that's happened for me quite a few times with you as well.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
Isn't that
man.
funny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, it's always been like, well, as a fan, I've been like, good, he'll do a better job than me. But yeah, man, Will is just like what a gift of a human being,
Man,
right?
there is something about Will that is just always so optimistic
Mm-hmm.
and positive and cool, and it's just he's so easy to be around. People who just bring out the best in you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Will is that guy.
Yeah, he came in on a day that he was serving jury duty.
Yeah.
and he literally came in the morning, like, and squeezed it in before. And it's like we don't talk that often.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys that if I text or call,
Right
he'll-
back.
within 10 minutes.
I know.
15
Same.
minutes.
I
yeah.
know.
He's just that guy.
He is that guy.
He'll stop and sign anything for anybody. He's
I know.
like, it's almost to his detriment. He's so nice sometimes.
I know.
I'm like, you're getting taken advantage of. but he's like, he knows what he's doing, and he's chosen to be that guy.
Yeah.
Will love. We got lots of Will love here.
Love you, Will. Of course.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to
Thank you.
wanted to let you know how big of a fan I am, in case it wasn't already
Oh,
apparent.
Tyler, that means a lot to me, man. Because we exist in these little bubbles and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and to hear that from somebody a peer who like you really respect is really
Thanks,
cool.
man. Well, that means a lot to me too.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about that in like the social media realm. Like I was like, we have had a couple social influencers. And I'm like, do you guys all know each other? And it's like, no. we're like, you guys don't all meet each other and like at some like convention and no.
We've talked about this with Tyler. He's kind of gone into his story on this, and we talked a bit with Ethan Suplee, who we had on as well.
I love him.
About being a big guy
Yeah.
as an actor and
Yeah.
in the public eye. And you've had a journey, a weight loss journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were heavier, I mean, how did that, as being kind of cast as the fat guy who's funny or whatever, how did that kind of make you feel about yourself inside?
Here's the cool thing about it is the people I've been very fortunate to work with people that never played that joke.
That's what I was going to say. Like
You know?
I thought that was very conscientious on your part. That I don't think you ever. That was never the thing.
No,
with
I
your
was not
characters.
willing to. And
Yeah.
like if the joke is about fat, that's not funny to me.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I mean?
I made a career out of playing all of those parts.
I know. Well, no, here's
and
the
I
thing.
hated it. I resented
Starting
it.
out, you got to
Yeah.
do whatever you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
But I've been really fortunate. I don't know. It was just luck or whatever. Is that that later on that I was just people were very respectful of that, and I think they understood. I've worked with really empathetic people.
Yeah, that's not, that wasn't your function.
No.
To do that. But then to compound on that question a little bit, expound, I should say, it's been a drastic weight loss journey for
I've
you.
lost 200 pounds.
Yeah, that's like, dude, over the shit, man.
Thank you.
I mean, that is a significant amount of weight. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
But there's this weird thing, you know, in a lot of ways I'm still a fat guy.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think goes back to my being a kid. You know, we moved like when I was a kid about 21 times.
Oh my God.
And like I love my dad. He's a wonderful man, and he taught me kind of compassion. Everything I am in many ways is because of him, you know. But you know, full disclosure, he was a compulsive gambler. You know what I mean? Really?
Yeah, and liar, unfortunately, but yeah.
And so, you know, we'd have to move in the middle of the night. You know, things were weird, and he owed money, and you know, we had to just split. And so I was always the fat kid showing up at a new school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having to prove myself in some way,
Golden
get
gloves.
you to like me.
Golden gloves. No one's going to fuck with
That's
you.
right. I'm Golden Glove. All that stuff.
Yeah.
On some level, those things are so ingrained. You know, it's that neural pathways and stuff. And so I'm starting to feel like I'm looking myself in the mirror now, and I'm like, no, you really have changed.
Yeah. Do you ever think, I have a thing where I'll see a photo, because for me, it's been about, like, all told, about 90 pounds that I've lost since like my heaviest to now.
What was the timeline?
A long time. It's been like 2.5 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Of like slow. Well, really, that was only the last 60. Before that, it was like.
Did you ever put on and put back? Because I did
for
that.
sure. And I probably will again. You know, but this is like, I've established some new healthier guidelines, you know, which I think will keep me from rebounding. But the perpetual fat guy myth in my head, I'll see photos of myself and I'm like, who's that? Oh shit, that's me. Like I don't even recognize myself. Whereas when I see very heavy photos of myself, I have this repulsion to myself.
I know.
So I'm like sort of in this area where I'm like, who? Well, that doesn't look like me. I hate that guy.
Well, ultimately, it's like if I could have loved that guy inside, you know what I mean? I could have done anything.
Yeah. Well, I've tried. I don't know if I've been on a journey with loving that
Same
guy.
here.
And I've come to a place, but it's easier from this place to look back at that guy and go, yeah, I love you, man. But if that guy came back, I don't know how I'd feel.
That's the journey, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also sober.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Right on.
And so that was part of all that stuff, and just kind of, you know, being honest. Anytime I'm looking for something, including food or anything outside of me to fix me, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the consumption thing for me. It's like I gotta fill.
I'm more.
Yeah.
And I never knew full.
Yeah.
I just never knew full.
Yeah. Me neither. Really. That's the gift that tirzepatide has given me. I take a low dose of it, but it's like it just has given me peace around food.
Man, I take it as well. And so there was this, and I have nothing but amazing things to say about this because that noise that goes along with
the food noise,
and it was miraculous. I remember I was at like Cava or something, you know what I mean, and I was ordering a salad. By there they have these little like brookies, you know, and typically there would have been this whole conversation about, well, I worked out yesterday and I'm going to work out later, and you know, I'm eating a salad, so you know, and so that entire conversation was just, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
You know?
The other thing that it's given me too is like, I am going to have it.
Yes,
you know
I
what
can
mean?
have
I'm like,
it.
yeah, and it's okay.
That's right.
But that negotiation, man, the navigation.
But then
like,
then you're only eating one though. You know,
yeah,
it's
I'm not.
That's
right. I actually can't really pick out anymore.
And I'm good with one.
Yeah.
Well, and what's been nice for me is I was a little frightened that I would just lose my whole interest or appetite in food. Right?
Yeah.
And because that noise, you know, I've heard about that noise going away. But, you know, I still find like I can see a recipe video on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that shit is good.
Yeah, man.
You know?
And enjoy it.
Yeah, completely. And so it's just, you're just eating less of it.
It's really helped me with some habits surrounding portion control.
Portion control for me was and the noise.
And the noise.
And because I just beat myself up constantly, right? Like it was like shame eating spirals and things, that, you know, all that stuff. But
it's you know, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I might as well
I'm going to go get some McDonald's and shut all the fucking blinds and put on Deadwood and eat myself into a coma.
I did a movie called Fat that was all about food addiction.
Oh, did you really?
It was a small movie. It was very, I mean, we did it for absolutely nothing. I mean, I can say what the budget was now because we did it. It was like, we did it for like $15,000.
Jeez, okay, so nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And a lot of like, you know, goodwill and help from others. And it's very much about this sort of thing because I had a friend who was suffering from the same stuff, ended up getting diabetes, and had to leave because he couldn't get insured here. Went back to Boston where there's free health care, so he'd get his needles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that shit, it
you know,
adds
it's
up,
a
man.
real thing.
Yeah.
How's your weight loss? How much have you lost now, or do you not?
I think about 25 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you
it's,
definitely-
there's still another, you know, I want to, 50 more. I mean, if I know we've talked about maybe
Sure.
not having a goal weight or whatever,
Yeah.
but, probably, another 50 or 60 is where I'd like to be.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a point where it's just been plateauing for a while.
Yeah.
And
It does that, though. Like,
It does
it's-
that. But again, I think if I actually start a nice exercise program and, have more salads instead of hot dogs, I think it'll be, I think I can accelerate that.
Sure.
It's a perfect storm of like working out, the actual GLP-1, and then like your diet. It gets easier, but you do have to have all the elements sort of present.
And that was slow for me too. That was the same thing. I was slow for me too. I was like, well, I guess I can eat whatever I want. You know what I mean? And then I didn't address that for like 5 or 6 months, and I was like, all right, so what do you want? And I plateaued, and I was like, okay, well, how about you eat a couple salads? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you knock out sugar.
And then thinking about like what do I want to put in this machine?
Yeah.
Like it's not just about the flavor. It's like the long-standing effects of what I'm putting in here.
Yeah.
And our mental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck the mind-gut connection.
Well, yeah, and I just split up with my wife like almost exactly a year ago is when I got my own place.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been in like party mode.
Yeah.
And it's just like, someone's like, you want to go out for a beer? Yeah, I absolutely do.
Are you dating?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just kind of want to indulge.
Yeah.
Right? And so I've been doing the shots, but to kind of temper some indulgement,
course.
but I'm not like saying no to stuff, and that's okay. But I think I'm the only thing I'm saying no to is when Tyler's like, "You want to go work out?"
Yeah.
No.
I took him once, and he was like, he hammered your arms. I think you were going on a
Hard
date.
for me to get in there too, man.
Yeah. So
Do you do the apps? Are you doing the dating apps?
Yeah.
That's so funny. That was not because I was married. I've
Sure.
been married for 17 years.
Yeah.
Just came and went for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I didn't. I got divorced almost 6 years ago now. Oh, longer, 7. I didn't go into the apps either. I just I met someone the old-fashioned way, and it was like I don't think I could navigate that shit.
It's
the humility and the fucking the ego and oh man.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like I don't want to in thinking about dating, and I was like, I'm not really looking for a serious relationship. So it's like I don't, and we both live in Ojai, so it's a small town.
Oh, cool.
And you're just like, I can't date anyone here.
Yeah.
This is just a nightmare.
10,000 people.
And there's a bunch of hot single moms at our school, and you're just like, no.
Off limits.
No, totally off limits. You have to. And so then you're trying to meet people who live, 20
Wait,
minutes
hold
out
on. Why are hot moms at the school off limits for you? Like, no, like for real, like if you developed a healthy relationship with a mom at the school, or are you talking about just like hooking up?
That's the thing is I'm not in the mode where I want a long-term, serious, monogamous relationship.
Right, but if you did,
If I did, I would consider it. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Okay,
aren't
so-
either, though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right? I mean-
well, exactly. But I just think the chances of it being combustible, it's like
sure.
if you're dealing with that kind of stuff, it can just go sideways.
I was always
don't
so
shit,
safe
don't shit where
with
you
that.
eat.
Yeah. I was
kind of
always so
thing.
safe with that too. I had friends who were like, "Yeah, whatever," you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I've always been so safe with that, trying to navigate that when I was dating.
Right,
Yeah, and
right,
I'm just cognizant of how socially things play out. And
Yeah.
and my wife, my ex lives in the community as well, and
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a mom at the school, and it's just like it just seems messy to me.
Yeah.
There's a pleasant aroma in the studio because actually, Tyler, you were just giving a demo to us on actually using some beard products that you use from the Bearded Brotherhood, and I still smell it. It still smells good in here.
It's a pleasant lingering.
And not in an overwhelming way.
No,
this is all good stuff. And
Yeah.
so, because you're known for having not only a good looking beard, but a good smelling beard and a soft feeling beard. I mean, all these things are true.
They're inextricable.
And you're using products from the Bearded Brotherhood. Check out their website. It's thebeardedbrotherhood.co.
Yeah.
And look, if you want to make a purchase, which I actually highly recommend, you can use the code ILYSM15 and you're going to get 15% off your purchase. And you can use that code again,
Over and over.
and again and again. And they have other products. They have cologne. I've been using the cologne a little bit. So it's, we're a couple users.
We're a
here.
couple users.
We're a
heavy
couple users. Yeah. And so follow them also. It's
At the dot
Bearded Brotherhood on Instagram and the beardedbrotherhood.co code ILYSM15. Please go check it out. I've been an enthusiastic user of Patreon myself as like I subscribe to Patreons, but now having a Patreon, I see the experience from the other side, and the other side of putting yourself out there, putting the content out there, and then having people respond, having free members that feels so good, having paid members that even feels better. And so all of our Patreon members are directly supporting the show, which is so meaningful, and it makes you and I know it just makes us feel really, really good.
Well, it's like it genuinely is a small little community, and there's like a lot of meaningful comments and back and forth communication that's starting to become like an actual part of my day. I love it.
It's really rewarding to go in and read what people are saying, and we're putting more and more content all the time on there. I know we've been doing Tyler's Tuesday Tales.
Tyler's Tuesday Tales every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, they're aptly named. And you get ad-free episodes, so you don't have to hear like this Patreon ad if you're already a Patreon member. So it really is, it works out really well for you. So you want to go to patreon.com/ILYSM pod. And a special shout out, of course, to Jonathan Newman and Jason, who are our top tier love bugs, who are, the
loviest of bugs.
The loviest of the bugs. Yes. So that's patreon.com/ILYSM pod.
So, Mel, I wanted to ask you, and you mentioned this in, I think, one of our first exchanges. You were like, mental health is very close to my heart.
Yes. Well, I think that because I've pretended for so long and felt like an imposter and, things just scared me. I've always felt like I've been sneaking in the back door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how did you get here? That sort of thing.
Professionally or
professionally? For sure.
Okay.
And so I think that produces a lot of anxiety. Listen, I think the really great thing to know now is that, like, we're all, it's more normal and more accepted for one than it was before.
Yeah.
We're all made up of the same ingredients, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And knowing that I'm not super different and that everybody gets scared and everybody gets bummed out sometimes and everybody feels is okay. It's fine. And so if I can see that way and really I feel more connected to things. And I think meditation has really helped me with that sort of thing. Our program. All of that stuff has just been really, really helpful for me. I'm just a sensitive guy, dude. I'm a really sensitive guy and very, and I'm an empath.
Yeah. Oh, are you? You find yourself very empathetic. Did you find meditation through the program, or were you a meditator before?
I meditated before.
You did, okay.
Yeah, but then I kind of upped it.
Yeah.
When I started. Saw through prayer and meditation.
Yeah, of course. I struggled with both, but like the prayer thing, oddly enough, came to me easier than the meditation. Prayer felt like, this big breakthrough thing of like, oh my God, I've discovered my thing.
Yeah.
But the meditation was like the practice of it, that was really hard for me. But when I was doing the meditation regularly, whoa.
Yeah.
What a difference that makes. The ability to center over and over again.
Yeah.
There's no limit. Like, during the day, if I'm off spinning out, having a imposter syndrome or deep anxiety, just like, boop, just a quick recentering and have a Red Bull. Like, what a stupid thing to do. I'm like a raging fire and I'm pouring gasoline on
it.
Dude.
Well, that's the thing. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. The crux of the thing. I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I even confess.
I'm a Zen.
Oh, you're Zenning?
Are you a Zenner?
No. I was a smoker for years.
Wait, what's the Zen exactly?
It's nicotine pouches. That nicotine is just in me.
So
I smoked for years as well.
But it's not like a snuff.
It's just like powdered nicotine.
Okay.
You just put a little pouch in here and you just like, there's like different.
Okay. But it's not like chewing tobacco.
No.
Okay.
Which is actually, that's bad for you. And this is, nicotine's supposed to be actually good
my
for you.
grandfather
it's like better for you than caffeine.
My grandfather always had it. Man.
I used to love
So
that shit.
gross,
Man.
man.
Red Man. We used to buy packets of Red Man and we'd pour a little bit of bourbon in the Red Man.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'd soak into the leaves and then we just take a big chunk. This is when I was like 14. And we'd put big mouthfuls of Red Man in our cheeks and like walk around with cans that were ripped off and just
My uncle did it. And I couldn't touch it again. I remember I had this Uncle Warren G. Galloway, who's a shiner, lived up on a mountain. Lived up on a mountain by himself. And he carried salt in one pocket and chewing tobacco in the other because he had low blood pressure.
Right.
Mountain man. Overalls.
He had it all.
He had fucking salt in his pocket? I've never heard that.
Because he had low blood pressure.
Yeah.
So pop some salt, didn't take any medication at all. Lived forever. Salt and tobacco. And so he was like, I said, I want some of that. And he was like, you sure? And he's old school. He was like, all right, well, here. No, take more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice big
And
mouthful.
I just got so sick.
Oh, dude.
I never touched it again.
Let me ask you this. I always had... I was watching the Charlie Sheen documentary last night. I mentioned it again. But he talks about like there is this addictive sort of thing where you like, most people would be like, oh, I got sick, I'm never gonna do that again.
Right.
I was like, I'll persevere.
Yes.
Like cigarettes made me so ill, but like puking. But I would like go right back outside and smoke another one, be like, no, I'm gonna master this thing. Alcohol made me feel like shit. Turns out I'm actually allergic to alcohol.
Yeah, we're gonna be pro.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm gonna figure out how to ride this bull, man. You know. And it's just like that's my thing with everything. Even with those Zins, I've kind of been like, well, that seems like a challenge.
Well, anything I think that changes this or shuts this off,
Yeah.
because this is always going the
Ice
monkey
cream.
brain. Ice cream shuts
Fucking
it
ice
off.
cream.
I know.
Why
And
is
I
ice
can
cream-
have so good.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
It's amazing.
That's basically our whole episode with Will was about ice cream.
Yeah.
But I can't go through a whole pint. A pint was just a serving.
Right,
You know
right.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I can't.
A tub.
I'll do like, a quarter or a half a pint, and that's fine.
You know what I started? This is awesome. I'm very proud of this. I do. I call it Sunday in a spoon. So you take a little scoop of ice cream in the fridge, get the chocolate sauce, a little sprinkle, a little cherry, one scoop.
That's great.
Sunday, and then I'm done.
I'm gonna take that.
Sunday in a spoon.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, big spoon, hopefully.
Well, a reasonable size, but we're not talking about like a fucking ladle or anything. But yeah,
Not just serving.
Sunday in a ladle. In a ladle. Yeah, no, it's Sunday in a spoon.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got it.
But the size of spoon is all.
Yeah,
it's up to you. It's personal
exactly.
preference.
Balance,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Equanimity.
balance, yeah.
Like just, like
balance. It's all about balance. Yeah.
Well, I think it was actually Charlie Sheen who said, "I have one speed, one gear."
Yeah.
Oh.
It's go.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go more.
The sort of overflow, the bleeding of addiction into everything I do. Mm-hmm. I didn't recognize that until I got sober. You know what I mean? I just thought, alcohol, it's like that's the thing. I cocaine, whatever. I was like, I can consume substances. But man, it's everything. It's everything. It's the way,
all of it.
They say the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. And for me, even the way, like I've realized that I'm addicted to my anxiety. Like I don't know how to be even keel. I'm like I love the highs and lows.
Yeah.
I love the attention. I love the drama of being in a fucking rut.
Oh, it's a warm blanket sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know this. It's so familiar.
It's comfort. It's like a comfort zone for me.
Put some Morrissey on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Go be melancholy and like take a drive through Las Virginies and shout at the mountains, man. I started doing that shit when I was like 20.
Right.
I told my daughter I did that, and she was like, "Yeah, that's all. We should go do that one day." I was like, "Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's super healthy, but
we're so emo."
Oh, dude, I'm so emo.
But
yeah, I'm emo before emo was even a thing. Yeah,
You're addicted to podcasting.
I'm addicted to podcasting.
This is great.
Well, this is a good thing.
Yeah, this is a good thing.
I'm really glad you guys cleared the air, and I was here to see that, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Well, I feel like there are guests that are like very this is a very sort of conducive environment for them. And you feel like one of those.
Oh,
guests.
thank you. That's
Well, you seem
Thank
like a
you.
pretty open guy, though.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I really am. And you helped me get more open, which is really cool.
Well, that's sort of the idea, but like
that's what we do for each other.
Have you always been a really open guy? Like, or was it
I've
a
never been very
performative
good with
open?
like small talk and stuff like that. I'm one of those guys that makes me anxious. We'll be especially at these social events and stuff like that. People want to go on and on about this, and I want to be like, no, let's talk about real stuff. Like I'm not interested in that. That's why I love Will. Will's always
he cuts to the chase.
He does
quick.
cut to the chase.
Oh, he just talks about ice cream now.
Well, that was being filmed, and
We had that in common.
But talking to Will, he actually is a really he's a great listener, first of all, but he's also a very like open guy. I was asking because like until I got sober, I considered myself a very open book, but it was pretty performative.
Yes,
it was.
was.
Like,
it
was like, look how open I
Nice
am, and I'm
guy,
like, I'll
like
say
me.
anything. Yeah, like me. I'll offer anything up. But it was like I was a sponsored skateboarder, and I
know. I just wanted to be like so
Yeah.
badly that I'd be anything you wanted me to be.
chameleon for sure.
Anything.
I used to think that was good. I had friends who were like, "Oh, you kind of adapt to any social situation," and I was like, "Yeah, but it's exhausting."
But I think also that's what makes us good actors because we
Yeah.
wear masks all the time, and I think also because for me is why I loved it so much. Just because why I love it so much, is because be anything but me. You know what I mean? And you've got the script, so it's all. I don't have to worry about anything. I know what's coming next.
It's like it's funny. I put so much pressure on myself to be like eloquent. I'm like, I'm not. I'm really
man.
not. But
That's
then when
another-
I can like ad lib and I can interpret your material, and it's like, man, what a safety net to have someone else's words
Oh, man.
to like express myself with.
Absolutely, that's
Or coming
another.
to actually expressing myself with
And
my
that's
words.
that's also another thing is growing up kind of like in like the inner city and like having not the best education and stuff like that, feeling kind of dumb or that I
me
can't
too, man.
speak right or that I'm not eloquent enough or to be able to express myself. That was a big one for a long time.
Yeah.
And we speak fine. You know what I mean? Like we're really good at talking.
Yeah, you are eloquent. Thank you. But that honestly, it is funny you mentioned that you were worried about being dumb. Like that was a huge thing for me. It was like, but then I sort of hung my hat on it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll be the dummy. I'll be like the dummy wild card, and then it became all the parts I played were like kind of like the idiot know-it-all, which is so fun to play, like failing upward. You know what I mean? But I began to really resent that because I was like, I don't feel like I am that thing.
Yeah.
I feel much more intelligent
Same
than this. And I started to develop a real complex about it where I was like, I think everyone thinks I'm an idiot. You know?
Yeah, and then you hang out with guys like, Will Arnett, for instance, who's just so friggin' quick all the time and so on. And there's bits. And comedians and stuff like that. And there was always like, that's just not, why can't I be like that? Yeah. Why can't I, and maybe I think it's a lot of it is self-acceptance.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. Yeah. And it's okay. And I had on Getting On, you mentioned, you have those moments where you've heard it before, you've heard it a million times, but for some reason that arrow really hits, And I remember Will Schaefer on that, I was just really like just working so hard, you know what I mean? And he said, hey, can I pull you aside for a minute? You know what I mean? And he said, Mel, I love you so much. He said, I just want to say one thing. You're enough.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And for some reason that really hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sounds so obvious, right? But yeah. I had a director named Tommy Schlamme. Yes, that's his name. But
I know Tommy Schlamme.
Thomas Schlamme. I love the guy. Yeah. I was doing a big high profile show on ABC called Invasion. And we were shooting the pilot. We were out in Florida. Same thing. I'm like 27 years old. And I just was like, can I get another one? Can I get another one? You know, always like, I want to try that again. Yeah. And he took me aside. I remember we were like by this tree in a swamp. And he was like, hey, man, you're good. And I was like, what? He's like, no, I don't mean like you're okay.
You're good.
You're really good.
Yeah.
And he just walked away. And I was like, oh, shit. But it just hit me in that way where I was like, I'm doing so much extra.
Oh, man. And some of the best people have that chatter all the time. They question all the time whether they're good enough for this thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
And it's usually the guys, I wish I was just that special, just kind of ignorant and confident.
Yeah. That's a potent
mixture.
Mix, yeah.
Did that change things for you when he said that you're enough?
Yes, it did. And then you got to hear some other things. Things that really hit in the moment, but they kind of chip away at the lack of acceptance.
Right. Yeah.
And
to get to like the
get to like
material.
Oh yeah, this is me, and I'm cool being me.
Yeah.
Right. And so in that moment, is that kind of the starting of that journey that you? It sounds like it really sounds like you've been on this kind of mental health journey and a physical health journey.
Yes.
I mean, was there like a low point that made you change?
I just don't think I had. When I was talking about those, I found really unhealthy coping strategies early on, and I didn't know how to handle big feelings. And so, I found booze or Coke or whatever, or weed or anything, any mixture or combination of stuff that I could do to kind of take me out of those feelings.
Yeah.
And what happens with that is that, the feelings basically get thrust into the wings, you know what I mean? And they just want to come out and play, you know what I mean? And they want to be recognized. And then you take that stuff away and they all want to come out at once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're big and they're loud and they're all jamming on stage at the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody's allowed to be scared. You know what I mean? Everybody's allowed to feel down sometimes. Like we're human. It's the human experience. I don't know where we get this idea where we're supposed to be happy all the time. We're not supposed to.
And it's such a pervasive message, right? Like, oh, you're okay.
Oh,
get better. You'll be happy. Like from our parents,
it's
especially.
Toxic positivity,
right?
You know
right.
What I mean?
Yeah.
It's really toxic, and it really is. And so also you start to feel shame because I'm not feeling amazing. Look at these people on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have it all. They're together. Everybody. No one is together.
Well, that's why the asking for help is the hardest part of recovery. Why? Or like mental health has its own category.
Yes.
If I had a degenerative heart disease, no one's going to be like, "What the fuck is wrong
with
this guy?"
With you?
What'd you do, man? But if you have, anxiety or depression or bipolar, people are like, "Ooh."
Absolutely.
That guy's
because
fucked up.
Insurance purposes, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think the great thing about that sort of thing now is that, and I see it with my kids, is that they talk about it.
Yeah.
They talk about it. It's open. It's discussed all the time. My daughters, I didn't know what anxiety was. People didn't even say that word.
Right. No, stress.
Stress.
You're stressed out.
You're stressed out. Relax. You know what I mean?
Take a Valium.
Take a Valium. And so, it was that thing, and especially where I grew up, where it's this very macho I grew up in like Little Havana in Miami during the 80s.
Right, you're from Havana,
super
Miami,
stoic, steroids and
Yeah.
cocaine, and it was like, you don't talk about that stuff, and if you do, it's like, bro, you talk too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I'm the existential guy who wants to talk about his
Right.
feelings and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And they're like, what are
An
you?
actor.
Yeah.
You're an actor. Yeah. That's the beginning of the journey, really. Is accepting that you're an actor.
But I think the great thing is nowadays, like we have podcasts like this where people, where being vulnerable gives people permission to be vulnerable as well and to say these things out loud. And it's not a big secret. It's not.
But it's still cuspy, you know what I mean? It's still fringy.
It is still a little
It's
bit.
still this like concept of like, we're, as men especially, because we actually started the podcast because it's sort of as a response to like masculinity being this like lightning rod, and like toxic masculinity is a term that's just constantly in our face. And I don't disagree with it. I think there is a lot of toxic masculinity and this fringy idea of like men having a podcast that isn't in the brosphere, or the manosphere, whatever you want to call it, was like even to our producers who are all millennials, where they were like, or Gen Z, were like, you like older white guys, you want to sit down and talk about your feelings? Like, we want to see that. Not very many dudes are doing that.
No, they don't. And it's really great that people are doing that right now. And it's, I think, like I've never been, I thought I wanted to be that for so long. It was really appealing and like, oh yeah, that guy, he's so stoic and, and doesn't feel anything.
Right.
He just goes through life,
Sounds fun.
Yeah. And that can give you a full-on panic attack all the time.
Dude. Like,
I mean?
It's funny you said that the feelings go to like they get pushed out to the perimeter of the container, right? I know that feeling. I feel like I was like a tennis ball container,
Yeah.
And like all the tennis balls are going to squish to the bottom of the container. It's like those are going to explode.
They're going to come back.
But the funny thing about that, the compression of your emotions and your feelings, a lot of those that we try to compress are actual tools.
They're tools.
They're tools that are like, I think that about anxiety. I think that about anger. I think about sadness. I think that about like if we learned anything from inside out, anger, sadness is like a tool, man. That's
our
the thing.
emotional guidance system,
and we've tried to like eradicate
don't
it.
feel that. And I see that in meditation too. Like the fear will come and I'll be, shut up, go away. I don't want you, get real drill sergeant with you. And it's about like, hey man, what do you want to say right now? They just want to be heard. They want their moments on stage, and then that's it.
I find with meditation in the beginning of TM, doing a lot of transcendental, the fear would pop in, and it was like, I was being dragged around by a big dog on a leash. I was just like, and I'd be like, oh God, I gotta tame the dog. And then it became this fluid. I was like, let the dog drag you around through this like mud puddle or whatever it is. And it really is just that acceptance of like I've said it before, but I got these tattoos, all the good, all the bad. It's the not just the acceptance of your shadow parts, but the integration. Like saying, okay, I don't exist without these things, and they're in me for a reason. Like
that. I read a book, No Bad Parts.
Right.
Which is so great. There are no bad parts. It's all these many facets. What makes you a great actor, what makes you a great human being, is that now we have all these facets. We're not just one thing or this or that. It becomes fluid, and then you're the river's in charge, man.
But I feel like if I didn't have the bad things, I'd be better, though. I mean,
I know.
Well,
I go back to that too.
It's if the bad things are hurting you or other people, I think is where it gets blurry. But like the shadow parts, as I like to call them, if they get more dangerous the more repressed they are, I find, or the more ignored they are. But I think that's the toxicity of masculinity is the omission of emotion, the omission of sensitivity.
I'm not attracted to that. No. You know what I mean? Like those. If I was asked to be, there's tons of podcasts like that, and I'm just not interested.
No, I don't like
what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up with that. I know what it is. Like I said, it's just insecurity and fear. I know scared little boys inside ultimately. And so putting on I'm tough. I do this. I do that, and I don't.
Or even just the stagnation of it. Like you just don't want to grow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to do with my life. At this point, I was like, so that's it. I did it. I'm here.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just had a birthday. I'm getting closer to death. And I don't know. Yeah. I did feel like I do want to grow. But you were going to say something.
I just want to know how your mental health is, because you just turned 52. You are... Oh, that's off limits too? Your age? Come on, man. We're just talking about being open and like...
What are you talking about?
Right, you just had a birthday.
fine.
Sometimes certain ages, birthdays can bring.
No.
But
well, no, you're getting into your 50s, and I know, God, I don't look it, but the
you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Die job.
The way I have been actually thinking about it, and I always joke every year, oh yeah, 1 year closer to death, right? But I am. And I feel like I'm actually starting to try to live if that's the case. That we are getting closer. And I see it, my daughter's 10 now, and I'm like, okay, I only got 8 more years here with her. And it feels like the last 10 years have just been like that. And, as we get older, time speeds up, right? And so you're like, oh shit, it's going to start going even faster. And so I'm like, and it kind of goes back to what I've been doing this last year when I say, oh, I'm indulging. Well, because I'm like, well, we could die tomorrow. I mean, not to be cliche about it, but, it's like, I will... I do want to do these things. You have to balance that, right? Because I do want to extend my life. I want to be here for as long as possible and as healthy as possible. And then, at the age where, I lost my mom a couple of years ago. My dad is had some health problems. And so you're faced with, within the next 5 years, 10 years, I'm not going to have parents anymore. And so, it's like my mortality is on my mind a little bit. Not in a way, I think in a bad way, but I think just in a way where I'm acknowledging that and trying to live for today, but with an eye towards tomorrow, I guess. And so...
Yeah, the growing awareness of mortality is pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's an acceptance. Like, it's all acceptance.
Yeah, and a lot of... there's a bunch of people I went to high school with who are already dead.
Me
so
too.
It happens. And so there's no guarantees. I mean, we've kind of conditioned ourselves and tricked ourselves into thinking, well, no, I'm not going to die today. I'm not going to die tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you might. And you're probably not.
Yeah.
So I think... mentally, I don't know. I feel like I'm. If I can just lose 20 more pounds, I will be. This will be prime
directly
life.
tied to your happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's prime life, and I feel like I'm in a. Okay, I'm 52, but I don't quite look it, and like I feel more appealing to like the opposite sex, I think, than I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah,
and that I think the things about my personality that appeal to age appropriate women for me are things that didn't appeal to women when I was 20. So like the sensitivity and the openness and the vulnerability and all those things, right?
Those are attractive now.
And I also realize that, and especially age appropriate women just don't care about the physical stuff as much as a general rule, right?
That's like, a generalization.
I can have a bit of extra weight, and it's not the same hurdle that it might be for a woman my age.
Yeah.
And then I've had women express interest in me. And so you're like, oh, all right.
That's cool.
Well, me? Really?
Well, and that's a snowball effect. That confidence grows. Like when you really start to believe, like, oh, well, maybe that stuff that I believed really mattered too. Like maybe it never did matter that much, and I made a way bigger mountain out of this thing than anybody else ever did, which is 99% of the time is true.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about myself way more than anybody else,
Yeah. And so it's funny. I do feel like I have a bit more confidence, but I don't always walk into the room with the confidence.
Sure.
So it doesn't feel like it. But I think it is kind of there deep down. Yeah. And someone said to me the other day that I was kind of on a date with, and they said like, I don't think you realize just how flirty you always are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I am? And
I've seen that too. Like your sort of your aura is a little bit flirtatious in general. You're like you have like a little glimmer. You have like a little glint in your eye that's a little bit like mischievous but also safe.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Okay,
Dirty
sure.
dog.
What's that? Yeah. Or a totally safe dog, but like has fun. But we were talking with our friend at your birthday party when you turned 52.
Yes.
About performative male, this term performative male. His son brought up the term performative male to him.
Oh, that's great.
Like, I hadn't heard of that before. This idea that you're like, oh, I these qualities that are attractive to women now, I think a lot of guys are figuring out like maybe that is a thing. I don't genuinely feel that sensitive or that in touch with my femininity per se, or like, but the performative male is now a trending thing where you like pretend
explain
to
what
do
it's like
pretend to be authentic.
Pretend to be authentic and into self growth and
that's the game now.
Reflection the game now is to like perform.
Right.
Well, and I think
reading a Joan Didion
people might accuse our podcast of being that.
I think it's the same thing with you calling women hot babes, where I was like called you out on it, but everyone was like, I think it's kind of okay because there's an authenticity to you. And I think there's an authenticity to this and to Mel that like doesn't feel. I think you can sniff out a performative.
Yeah, you can.
I think so. I think,
and I love that that's en vogue now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our
we
thing.
can, yeah.
Like that's what people are pretending to be now. It's like we grew up the opposite. Like,
I know.
fucking shut that
you
shit
know,
off.
we might be able to pull that off for a couple episodes,
Right.
But I don't think we're ever 15 episodes in. I don't think we can. I don't think we can
Well, that's what I was gonna
continue
say.
to
That
pull
is
it off.
such a short-sighted game. Like I guess
what-
it's just to get laid. Really.
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
happens when you come home and she sees you kick your dog? You know what I mean? Like like that. You got to.
Well, she's out of the
Yeah.
picture by then.
She is out of the
goes to
picture.
look
Because
at your copy
if
of
you
the
are
Four
doing
Agreements
that-
and the spine's never been
Yeah.
cracked. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
and then it's like and then just getting to know someone.
Yeah.
You could tell
Yeah.
pretty quickly if that person is actually into.
Yeah, but that's just trying to get laid,
better.
right? Because
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right? Because you can't base the foundation of any relationship on that.
I guess it is just a sex
how
tool.
far do you want to carry it? I guess.
I guess
You know, but I'm sure there's guys who are carrying it for 10 years.
You'd have to like
you know.
like have wide social circles though, man, because people would figure out
Everybody-
your
yeah.
game pretty quick. Like, oh, that
Yeah.
dude's he's full of shit.
Word on the street, man.
Yeah. You're performative.
That's right.
You're a PM. I heard you're a PM, dude.
Another form of masking, like you guys were talking about earlier. Essentially, at the end of the day, right? It's just a mask they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's similar to like what we used to call like try hard
Or
like,
peacocking.
Oh, yeah,
Peacocking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, peacocking. There was a whole book for that, dude. Yeah, I was like, go to be the guy with the biggest
Neg.
hat on.
yeah.
neg as much as you can. We talked
Yeah,
about negging
the
on
pickup
show.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah, the pickup artist. Thank you.
Yeah.
You read that, right?
Yeah, I wrote a script. I had a producer who kind of knew that scene and like kind of asked me to write a script about it. And I'm like, how do I make these guys sympathetic?
Right.
And
They
it
have
was
to
a
be
little
likable.
hard. But
Yeah.
but it just I think my take on it was it just comes out of such a place of insecurity.
Yeah.
That you kind of get behind them. But then you're like, oh, but you're just taking it in a way that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
the way
so-
that is coming about is
Yeah.
probably a little hurtful.
I struggled with that script a lot. But
Yeah. I can see
Didn't
that.
Robert Downey Jr. play?
Oh, the pickup artist, yeah, but that was like, I think that was not that book. That was
Gotcha.
like,
Yeah.
I think like
that,
Tom Cruise in Magnolia. That's like
Oh,
the
that's so good.
epitome of that like
Yeah.
that performative male, right?
But then when
Yeah.
you see underneath,
yeah,
scared
little boy
scared little boy
who's got daddy issues.
Yes. Yeah.
Sounds familiar. There's a rad Reddit thread that we were looking at about
Yeah.
men who share secrets, quote unquote, about what they learned later in life.
Oh.
And I heard this thing of like you spend the first 40 years of your life living, you spend the last 40 years of your life dying, right? This like very
Yeah.
bleak sort of.
well, at least you made it to 80.
Yeah, exactly. 80's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
But like the expression "youth is wasted on the young" is becoming so clear to me that it's like it's a shitty way to put it, but like I've learned all these things in my late 40s that I'm like, God damn it.
I wish I knew
God
them
damn
then.
it, man. Like, why am I learning? But the steps to get here just wouldn't have been taken
No.
unless I got to this place in my life. So it's like, man, it really
And
is
the
like,
sweet is sweeter. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
The sweet is sweeter because you know the bitter. And I think that like that's what life is. And
Yeah.
I think you were talking about like mortality and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. And we're to get in. And I think it's become more about what am I going to leave behind?
yeah.
You know what I mean? With my children, what am I going to instill in them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you don't have to be a nice guy, but you can be a kind
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
and an honest guy.
Yeah.
And you can have integrity. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's-
Real integrity. Like
yeah.
just be a good friend and just do nice things for people. Do
Yeah.
kind things for people. Radical compassion. I think
Radical-
that's the
yeah, yeah.
opposite of like, toxic masculinity.
There you
Radical
go.
compassion.
Radical
I like that.
compassion.
Well, we don't have
That's
to ask
the
that question.
question.
Can you pinpoint a thing like maybe like your most recent discovery later in life that you're like, oh my God, that would have been nice to know when I was 25?
I think the biggest thing is just feeling more comfortable in my skin.
Mm-hmm.
A big thing is regarding our business is that I don't need it as much.
Yeah.
It's like an abusive dad in many
Yeah.
ways, you know?
I've read that quote by you.
It really is. It's this thing where it tells you you're amazing. It tells you you're good. And for guys like us, we need that so badly. What do
Yeah.
I need to do? What hoops do I need to jump through? And then it tells you, why don't you take a break?
Yeah.
Kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you believe it. And
then
I
you're
need,
like-
and I all of my value is wrapped up
Yeah.
in this thing,
And your dad's opinion of you.
in my dad's opinion of me.
And your dad
I'm
is
not,
withholding, and he's kind of mean. And
I think to some degree, and I think it's made my work better, is that I don't care as much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care as much about that. you
yeah,
know?
I agree with you that the need part
Yes,
of it
the
has-
need.
I mean, other than making a living, the need to be validated as a good.
And maybe that's the
Actor.
church appetite, too.
Yeah. I mean, everything comes down to these GLP-1s. It just fixed everything. Just
Yeah.
go get some. Yeah, I think for me the most sort of prevalent and recent like later in life discovery has been the like what Ree was just saying, like and it lands on me, and it's so simple, but over and over again, like today could be it. Like we really get one. We get one go around, and like when you're young, it's hard to put into words, but that hubris of just like, I have all the time in the world,
invincible.
It genuinely feels like you'll never be the age I am
you'll
now.
Never be
even
52.
I'll never be 47, and then you get there, and there's just this like, it's not a sting to it, but there's like it's almost like a peeling of skin where you go, oh shit, I'm there. I'm pretty vulnerable now. Like I am gonna die, and the idea of like getting to the end of my life and being like, that was my life. Yeah, that was life. I did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to get to that point in my life because I inevitably will, and be like, I had a hell of a journey.
I know, man.
I did some shit. I didn't just, because someone said to me recently, like, if you got to the end of your life and had no challenges and no struggles, would you be happy? Like, would you be happy if your life was just, your whole journey was just ease? It's like, no, fuck no, man. No. So I am really that thing of like what you were saying earlier, like not forcing gratitude, but recognizing the gratitude that I have
every day, man.
Every day, and being like, look, man, I literally get one shot at this. And legacy is important too, but not in the way I used to think.
No, yeah, sure.
It's not like I want to leave behind wealth or like a catalog of work that I did that someone can refer to. It's the kindness. It's my words. It's
what are the rings going to look like? You know what I mean? How are you going to, because that.
How do my kids go out into the world now? How do they raise their kids? And
right.
It's just that has really
also it's helped me not worry as much to some degree, because it's like, okay, I think I had a friend's mom who died recently, and she's there, what would you have done differently? She said, I would have worried less about things that never happened.
Right.
And if I look back,
oh my God,
on my life, the things that I really worried about, really either turned out much better, never happened. Most of them never happened. And so why? It's just such a futile emotion.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything. I think somewhere along the line, I thought that's somehow going to control, that's going to change the outcome of things.
Yeah, that's the
holding
illusion,
on
right?
tight, you know what I mean?
In the program, I heard this expression that worrying is like praying for shit you don't want.
Yes.
And
that's right.
I love that expression. Worrying is like praying for shit you don't want. I was like, oh my God. You're meditating on shit that you don't want to happen.
Even if you're not, you're manifesting it because that's what you're in at the point. And so it's the continuum. It's this thing where, okay, I'm going to bring that into the next moment. You know what I mean? Like, how beautiful is this? Like, we're here right now, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is where it's at.
Sitting here with you guys.
That's it. Like, really. You know what I mean? And so the more I remember that, like, my hands are here, my feet are on the ground. Everything's cool. Right now I have everything I need. Yeah. Everything and more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So much more. That's the way I want to live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's beautiful, man. It's not easy sometimes, but the practice of that. The recentering often,
And I lose myself in that crap all the time. You know what I mean? I feel like I've just gotten a little better at recognizing it quickly.
Yeah.
Like spotting it and saying, oh, there's that thing.
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning and, my first thoughts are, how can I get this? And what am I not getting? And all that stuff. Yeah. And I have this kind of thing I do in the morning. I just say, bullshit, 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 bullshit.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Bullshit. And then I hit my knees and I say a prayer.
Yeah.
And then I make my bed. And
making the bed, dude. Making the bed.
I never made my bed.
Me neither.
I always thought, what's the point?
I'm obsessive about it now.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I have to.
Well, it's just the thing. It's one thing. I'm like, I'm going to do it.
It's the thing.
Mine's unmade.
Yeah. But that was an act
I'm just thinking about
self-love too for you, self-care, because you were like, I'm going to.
Well, I had to get up early and get in the car and come down here. Yeah.
So you also said you're both in Ojai?
Yeah.
Tattoo.
Oh, that's so cool.
But we didn't drive down today together.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But there is that thing of like, I don't expect to have this all the time, but I get more moments of that joy.
Yeah.
What about you, Reed? What's like a thing that you've discovered?
Well, I think I kind of covered it in the the mortality thing. Yeah. Well, and I think we'll probably talk about it more in depth on another episode, because I think it's a bigger conversation, but of how we can achieve shit.
Yeah.
And we do these big things, like you just had a movie premiere. I wrote a screenplay that got produced, or we did the show, or we did XYZ. And then the next day it's like, okay, what are we doing today? And you think this stuff like matters, and it kind of does, but it's not all there is.
No.
I think you really have to take joy out of the process. The things that are the most important are our relationships and our, all these kind of things, and that whatever professional accomplishments we have, like, as much as I want that and I want the financial security that can come with that stuff, it's not really what's the most important thing.
I care about what my daughter thinks about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What my wife thinks about me, my friends. That thing is just, what's it's that thing outside that I think is going to fix me inside.
Yeah.
And it never does.
Yeah.
What is it? Prestige and,
Well, it's all just, it's so fleeting, right? Like you don't leave any of that.
No, and then
you don't
what's
take
next?
any of that
More.
with you.
What's next?
Well, and
what's
I think it just
hit?
ultimately, no one, you think, and especially in entertainment, right? You think it's like, oh, I do this, and then everyone's just going to think I'm cool, or everyone's like,
right, and then
cares,
that'll be forever.
and then they don't care. They just don't.
No.
And I
And
remember
even if they do, it's short-lived.
Well, and the funny thing is, when I first met Tyler, we met as like dads in the Ojai circuit. And I was like, oh, we're going to be friends. Oh, and he's kind of famous. And, it's like, it's kind of a feather in your cap, right? You have your famous buddy. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot you're famous. It's like, it's relevant because, you come on the show and, we have people come on the show. But like in the day to day, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's just, Tyler's awesome, but he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only relevant because of the way we've utilized it, really, right? Like,
And Tyler's just my friend. And I haven't even like seen his most famous movie, or I haven't seen, it's just like, that's not what I'm interested in Tyler for.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Well, and again, I think we have all learned that having gratitude is important. And so we definitely gratitude towards Mel Rodriguez.
I had such a good time doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'm
guys.
so glad that this was like able to happen.
Mel, is there anything that you want to plug?
Yeah, we always give her one.
So I've got a movie coming out, Sarah's Oil, in November.
Oh, you're with Zach.
Zachary Levi, yeah. Yep.
That's cool. I think the movie's going to be really good.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And
it's a good story. It's about a little girl who, doesn't get screwed over by the big wigs.
And then do you have any socials you want to plug or anything? You got I know you're on Instagram.
What is this? Okay, so I'm at Real Mel Rodriguez. That's me.
Perfect.
And others. I don't think I have too many socials.
all right, that's all right.
At Real Mel Rodriguez on Instagram. Go follow him. Yeah.
Well, perfect.
That's how we've sort of got here.
Yeah,
though. So
I know.
it's like it is a tool.
It is a tool for
nice
sure.
tool.
Yeah.
We, of course, will also want to thank our audience. Thank you so much for being here with us with this journey, and especially Jonathan Newman, who is at our premium level on our Patreon. And so you can go to patreon.com/ILYSM pod, and you can check out that. Got a lot of cool stuff. Tyler's Tuesday Tales. Pretty good.
Weekly tales.
Patreon exclusives. And thank you to everyone who is not in our Patreon. We love you as well.
Yeah.
And of course, our production team here, we appreciate you and All Things Comedy for letting us use the studio while our new one is being built. There we go. We love you so much. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Reed.
All right. We love you so much.